Thanks for listening to the AC12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. 15% off any online order. Enter promo code SAVE15, code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. With John Brogan, I am merely Mike Luke. Hello, John Brogan. Hello, John.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah,
long time no see.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. All right. So we've got a lot to get to on this show. We're going to talk about Arizona, Arkansas. We're going to talk about Arizona, Purdue. We're going to talk about the rest of the NCAA tournament. But first of all, I will say this on Twitter and on social media. I very much like the excuses that Arkansas fan is now coming up with, that Arizona's floppers, that Arizona also, besides being floppers, Koa is on steroids. I will say this. I did not expect them to come up with all of the gamut of excuses other than the fact that, yeah, Arizona's just a lot better than you, dude, period.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse than when you lose by 20. It was 30 at one point. There was a clear separation of talent, style, all those things. And then you make up every excuse possible. Like if you told me that the Texas fans were losing their mind, totally get it. They got a lot of reasons to lose their mind. It's a 1-point game. It's Oakland on the tip in. It's fouls, all the things. But Arkansas would have needed like another 75 minutes and like 30 less fouls to have a chance at anything to do in the game. So I don't understand what they can complain about. They lost by 20. Take your L, go home.
You know what's great? Mr. Cello puts it very well. I don't know. Maybe these people should look at Koa's family. His father played in the NFL for 10 years. His brother was a top 10 pick. All of them played Division I football. They have really good DNA. They have really good genetics, John Brogan.
Yeah, he's a football player playing basketball in terms of his body. I mean, his brother played, Pro Bowler in the NFL, 6'7", 340 pounds, whatever Andrews Pete is. So Koa could have been that if he wanted to, but instead he chose basketball. He just happens to have a football player's body, and it benefits him on the basketball court.
Yeah, so that was good. Now, let's talk a little bit about Arkansas, and then we're going to get ahead to Purdue. And I don't know, this was put out on TikTok, but there is a guy right now, 6'7", so dumb. There is do your kids do that, by the way, Brogan, the 6'7" thing?
No, they stopped about a month ago like everybody else did.
Good, all right, good. At least they're following that trend into oblivion. Yeah,
they used to, though.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, back to the 199 super snap from TJ Van Martyr. Yes, it works. 199, my friend.
No, I don't think it did work. Try it again.
Yeah, try it again, but this time put like 100 in front of it, though. Yeah, just to make sure. Yeah, appreciate you, TJ. But all right, with Arkansas though, John Calipari. I know that the sisters are in here and they don't want to hear anything. And John Calipari is getting destroyed right now. But honestly, with good reason. That was one of the most pathetic, and again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've watched Arkansas 800 times this year. That was one of the most pathetic displays of defense I've ever seen. I mean, Arizona shot 65% from the field, and it felt like not just 65%. It felt like Arizona shot 85% from the field.
Yeah, and it was more about like it wasn't a game where you're like, man, Arizona's making a ton of shots. It's like Arizona's shooting a ton of layups. This is just easy, right? Had they been extremely hot, making contested jumpers, bunch of post-up hooks, threes, it might have felt different. But this was like, we're going to walk down the lane, shoot a layup, dunk it, whatever, and it's going to be easy. But if you go back to the High Point game against Arkansas, it was the same exact game. Right. You just saw the difference between High Point and Arizona, and High Point couldn't make enough shots at the end of the game. But they didn't play defense in that game either. They just had better players.
All right, now Joseph Delgado says, you could have resurrected John Wooden, and that game goes exactly how it did last night. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Give Rick Pitino that roster. See if they lose by 25 points and barely play defense. Nice try there, but thank you. Okay, now Jeremiah Dibble, 999 super stat. Purdue is going to struggle with the Cats. Cats by 10 plus. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Appreciate you, Dibs. But it was just, but Tommy and Plan knew exactly what, or Tommy and company knew exactly what they were going to do. You know what's weird? And I always fall into this trap too, and I shouldn't, but I also think to myself, I'm like, all right, how can a team then with that kind of talent, you would think that at some point they're going to be like, okay, we actually got to play, we actually have to play some defense at some point, and maybe we're going to actually try. Man, they took that mantra all the way into the ground. We are not going to play defense, and when we get bounced in the Sweet 16, well, you know what? It's about the name on the back of the jersey.
And yeah. The name on the back of the jersey, not the name on the front. And you're going to the NBA, so come play at
Right.
Arkansas, and we'll pay you a bunch of money.
Right.
My thing is, we lived through the Miller years where it was man or die. And if we suck at man, we're going to give up a bunch of points.
Right.
And so, I assume Calipari knows something we don't know about his team's defensive abilities. Acuff, Malik Thomas aren't exactly known as lockdown defenders. Richmond is actually pretty good.
They can't be that bad. They can't be that bad, though. I refuse to believe they're that bad.
Right, but let's assume they are. Let's assume you see it in practice. They can't guard each other. Go zone. Do something. Do anything. But you literally do nothing but foul and get progressively worse in the types of fouls, cheap shots, etc., and just say, okay, we're just going to lose our way. It's fine. No big deal.
Is John Calipari, for lack of a better term, old money? And that he's got a style that, I'm going to bring in all the best players. I'm going to let them do what they want. And, we're going to go a lot of high pick and roll. We're going to do a lot of ISO. And then on defense, if you can try, cool. If not, cool as well. I don't really look at it, though, and say, I don't think the way that he currently constructs rosters and coaches that they can go deep in the tournament. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have, in order for him to go deep in the tournament, I think next year potentially sets up okay for him. If Malik Thomas comes back, Billy Richmond comes back, McEwen comes back, he's got Jordan Smith coming in, who's best player in the country, most likely, or him and Stokes. Another 5-star coming in. If he goes and gets another big in the portal that can actually impact the game, like he's going to have so much talent next year, they're going to win a ton of games. But here's what I think in general is NIL has shifted more talent to the top. Yeah. So it's why you don't see mid-majors in the Sweet 16 and things of that nature. What that means, though, is when you're Kentucky and you're Arkansas and you're used to having all the talent, now the teams that you could normally beat just by out-talenting them, they now have more talent, and now coaching starts to matter even more at those top levels. And so, sure, you're going to beat the mid-major teams that have a $2 million NIL budget when you have 14 or 15 million.
Right.
But when you play Arizona, who's got a $10 million NIL budget and an awesome coach, that extra $4 million doesn't do it for you because you're not coaching at all.
All right, now let's talk. Hypnotic to House says that takes away from our guys. We made Arkansas look like crap. Well, yeah, I mean, our Arizona is awesome. Arizona, and let's talk about it. We're also just stating that Arkansas doesn't try, but Arkansas, I think you could make the. I mean, this is a testament to Arizona. Arkansas is Does Arkansas have more first-round picks than Arizona? The same?
No, I think. If you count Krivas as a late first-round pick, then it's probably 3-3. I would assume.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, the talent is fairly. I mean, Arkansas's got talent, and Arizona just abused them. And I just love. We talked about it before the game. The thing that I wanted to have happen with Arizona, and I don't have this. If somebody could look this up. Oh, by the way, Tiger Woods getting another DUI. Talk about a guy that was rode hard and put away wet, man. Yeah. So
in the middle of the day on a Friday afternoon,
you've got some real issues at that point. Yeah, in the middle of the day. So whatever. All right. I'm going to say this though with Arizona. Can somebody get me the total points and rebounds from the three big men for the U of A? Or as John Calipari would say, the big guy that Arizona has? Because I was thinking before that Arizona needed to have something like 40 and 23, 24, something like that. And without looking, I'm assuming they did that. I also think that they're going to do the same thing against Purdue, to be quite frank.
Yeah, I think with Purdue it's different, mostly because of pace of play, right? Mm-hmm. So the game's going to look different because Purdue's going to take the air out of the ball. They're going to slow the game down. They want that game to be in the 60s, 70s. Maybe Arizona gets to 80. Arizona's going to be efficient. They're going to score, but they have enough opportunities to score 100 unless they shoot 75% from the floor. So I think if you think about it as a factor of the total points, so if, Tyler said that they had 49 points out of 108, so you're looking at 45-ish percent, 46% of the points. If you tell me they're going to have 46% of the total points in a win, that I would agree with. We were talking a little bit earlier. Purdue, it's very similar to the Arkansas game when you look at some surface level stats. Arizona scores a ton of points from two. They take the second most 2-point attempts. They have the second most 2-point makes. Purdue's like 275th in the country in 2-point field goal defense. Purdue scores a bunch of points from two. They don't shoot as many threes as people think. They shoot a high percentage, but they don't shoot as many as people think. Arizona's elite when it comes to stopping 2-pointers. So Purdue's strength is Arizona's best defense, and Purdue's weakness is Arizona's best offense. I don't know how you win if those two stats are going against you.
Yeah, and the thing that I come up, when we talked about how your path to victory, how do you make that one happen? And I think the path to victory for them is slim. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the post game as well, that, they're going to have to make a lot of threes, but you make a good point. And quite frankly, that's why I surround myself with smarter people so they can do the research that I can't actually find out. But they don't shoot a lot of threes, though. They make them at a good percentage, but they don't shoot a lot of threes, Brogan.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that they're 148th in 3-point attempts. Now, they're 14th in percentage. They shoot 30.5%, but they shoot 24 threes a game. They're not out there shooting 40 or 50 like High Point.
Right.
And everybody. So if you look at the advanced metrics and you talk about efficiency, Purdue ranks super, super high in offensive efficiency. They don't turn teams over. They don't play with pace. And so they grind you out in the half court set, and they're efficient from two. Great. Good luck with that against Koa and against Krivas and against Karchenkov's length and against Bradley as a defender. Burries is an improved defender. Like, if you think the path to beating Arizona is grinding out a bunch of twos and having Lawyer hit a few threes on the perimeter, you're just not going to win that way unless Arizona just totally lays an egg, which they haven't really done since at Kansas.
I got a DM from somebody that I've not seen here before. This is very good. Mike, I challenge you to go up to anybody on Purdue and tell them that their team is too white. See what happens. What, is Fletcher Lawyer going to punch me in the face? Like, it's so dumb. Let me know how that one goes. But let's talk a little bit about Purdue then. Let's go position by position. Jaden Bradley, Braden Smith. I don't worry about Braden Smith. Braden Smith's good. He's very, very good. Don't really have any problem with Braden Smith, but Braden Smith doesn't scare me. Somebody like A-Cup was one. Like, if A-Cup was on Purdue, that would worry me. Braden Smith, again, he's going to get 13 and 9, something like that. JB will probably get similar numbers. That to me is a wash, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when I think about the matchups, I don't ignore the stats, but I try to just simply think about, in this game, what's the impact going to be from both of these guys? And when you start to factor in things like defense, clutch shot making late in the game, and all the things that Bradley does, I think at best Purdue gets a wash at this position. Again, Braden Smith might go for 13 and 9. Cool. But last year against Houston, he was 7 and 15. In a couple other big games, he had worse stats than that. He shoots a low percentage. He's inefficient. Bradley's efficient. So I think I'm cool with that one, saying the impact's going to be even. I don't think it's an advantage to Braden Smith like a lot of people are going to assume, just because he's second team All-American and first team last year and the leader of Purdue and all that. If you look at the impact they're going to have on the game, it's going to be relatively similar.
I like how people are trying to say now, and this has actually caught fire, where they say he's the greatest college point guard of all time. No, he's not. I don't care about the assist record over 5 years. That does not make him the best college point guard of all time. All right, now on the wings then. Obviously, you got Cox, you got Lawyer, then you got Braden Burries, and you got Karchenkov. Let's get to those in a second, but let's get a couple reads in here first. All right. Alchemy. Yummy. Insurance and financial solutions for Wildcat Nation. Again, we're going around here, and you're looking at a business insurance, personal insurance, benefits, life, wealth management, you name it. Again, the great thing about them too is that they are Arizona fans. They are approachable. They're not these guys that are living in this like king of the castle with like an iron cage and like a beekeeper outfit around them, just so that the peasants can't. They're just like you. They're just very successful. They are awesome, though. And again, insurance and financial solutions for Wildcat Nation. Curtis and Josh are awesome. Official sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Business insurance, personal insurance, benefits, life, wealth management, everythinginsurance.com. Check it out. Alchemy, baby. All right, Casino del Sol. All right, I see all the people in here. I see Dennis Walsh. I don't see Amor. He didn't show up. I see Jerry Reyes. I see many others. And again, here's the thing. Check it out, Casino del Sol. We had some watch parties. It was a lot of really good. It was a lot of fun. Easy. We're gonna probably have some more. Again, go in there, bet. Have some good time at the tables. You can stay there, take the misses. The golf course there is amazing as well. Check it out, Casino del Sol. All right, land the man with the freaking master plan. Brogan, deal with your bloodline right here.
Did he admit this was AI?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can't defend him. I was still holding out hope that maybe he was going to flip it on us in a year or something and say it really was his sister.
Nope. Now, he did have a good reason for making this up, but at the same time, this is not a real woman. But that doesn't mean that the championship package isn't as real. She's as fake as Arkansas's defense. Very, very good. Ask about the 1997 championship package for dental implants. Again, you go in there. It is great. It is a lot of fun. And, by the way, this is hold on. I'll get to that in a second there, Sly. Owned by local Arizona alumni. Only offers necessary treatment. Daily urgent care Monday through Friday. Dental implants at affordable rates. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to go to Arkansas and have somebody take the tooth of a dead relative and put it in the back of your throat and say, hey, you're good to go. None of that stuff. You can get a really good deal here and it will make you happy. Check it out. Eris Dental. All right. Now my guy, Steve Williams, Sly. Sly's an awesome guy. One of my favorite people. This is the most Stevie Williams question ever. Does Casino del Sol have Hennessy? And they got some Tanqueray as well, my man. Yeah, some gin and juice. Of course they have Hennessy, Stevie Williams. Yeah. So there's no reason for you not to show up. Steve's going to come pulling up in his lowrider, man. It's awesome. Yeah.
His Cutlass.
Yeah, the Cutlass. Yeah, with the 22s on them. Yeah. Yes, Sly, they definitely do. Okay, now. It was pretty funny. One time I was asking Brogan, because Brogan played in a lot of basketball leagues over the years. And Steve Williams, I don't think that he would mind me saying this, was first team All-State, played at NAU, played it overseas, all-conference type guy. And I kept asking Brogan, I'm like, you know who Steve Williams is? And he's like, name doesn't ring a bell. And then so I showed a picture of him, and he goes, oh, Sly. Yeah, Sly's the man. Yes. That was great, dude. That was great. He go get his Hennessy sheet. Okay. Now, all right, so let's get into the wings then. Karchenkov and Braden Burries. First of all, our good pal Kobe L. Thiel is now telling us that he believes that Karchenkov is gone. I don't know that I buy that. What is your first thought there, John Brogan?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going. I don't think it's the NBA. I think he still has some growing to do on the offensive end. Mm-hmm. I think defensively, he's big, physical, strong, athletic. I think he could easily play NBA defense today. Mm-hmm. But offensively, in order for him to maximize, I mean, he needs probably one more year.
I agree.
He'll have significantly more opportunities next year. Right now, he's the fifth guy on offense out of the starters. You could argue he's the sixth guy, maybe, if ADO's clicking, or Tobe. But one more year, and he's easily in that 20 to 30 range.
Agreed.
This year, he's a mid-second round pick, which is risky. He comes back to Arizona. He gets $1 million. Why risk it by leaving early, especially if you like your experience?
Agreed.
I don't see him going.
And the thing about him, too, is he is the easiest person in the world to be able to project as a 3-and-D. He's just got to be able to show that he can shoot the three. Yeah. And you know what's weird? The eldest sister, Joseph Delgado, made a interesting point. Hey, I got a question. There's elders in your elders and youngers in your guys' religion. What about the women? Are there youngers and elders as well, or no?
No, there's not youngers per se, but
what are they?
There are women in our church.
I know there's LDS women. I know that, but yeah,
they all have blonde hair.
Right. Okay? Yeah.
Nah, it's not the same naming convention. It's different.
Okay. All right, because I just wanted to call, if you did do something with the women, I just wanted to call Joseph Delgado the elder sister. So I'm still going to call him that. He said it's either a perfect bucket or an air ball, no in between. It is interesting. He gets a lot of arc on his shot. If that thing that thing either swishes or that thing clanks. It's one of those two things there, Brogan.
Well, he's a pretty good scorer.
Yeah.
When he's slashing, going to the bucket, attacking the rim. When he's shooting threes, I'll go a step further saying it's an air ball or it's a swish. I agree with that, but it's more often missing than it is making. And so no, I don't think there's enough confidence. Like when Burry shoots threes, we talked about this yesterday. When Burry shoots threes, you think they're going in. When he shoots threes, you're like, please hit something. And then sometimes they go in, most of the time they don't. So a year in the gym, just shooting, getting reps and all those things would go a long ways for him. But again, it used to be you had to go to the NBA if you were a first-round pick because of the money. Now
Right.
you do not, because you get paid plenty of money in college. So it changes the decision process.
I do believe he is eventually an MNBA player. I just think
Yeah.
it's going to take him a year. Yeah, I think it's
For
very
sure.
easy to
Yeah.
go there. Now, olders and youngers, what is this? Big E's Island? Big E. Oh, did you know that's what I forgot. Did you know that's what the Gen Zers call Epstein, Big E?
Mm.
I don't know why.
I don't know what sense that makes, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what sense that makes. By the way, Andy Bryant with a great point. The great Andy Bryant. Women don't want to be called elders. That's a great point right there.
True.
You probably don't want a woman who's 30 being called an elder.
They're all younger. They're all youngers.
They're all youngers. Yes.
Epstein ruined They're all youngers for everybody.
Yes. You really did. All right. Now, Braden Burries. This dude is just, you know what's funny about Braden Burries? I originally was, when people would ask me, is he the best, freshman shooting guard here ever? I didn't want to put him ahead of Bayless because Bayless was a force. I mean, Bayless averaged 20 points per game with Kevin O'Neal coaching him, so it is what it is. But you can easily make the case at this stage that Burries is better. I'm not saying he is, but man, he is. Burries is something else, man. I mean, and it's just every single game. The other thing, too, that I'm a little surprised by, I'm not going to say that he's necessarily like a Salim Stoudemire pure shooter type, but he's a really, really damn good shooter, though.
Yeah. Salim was a shooter who could score. Burries is a scorer who can shoot. It's a minor nuanced difference, but Salim is more known as a shooter. Burries is more known as a scorer. Right. I think if you're going to look in a vacuum and just say player for player, who's better as a freshman, I think you have to go Bayless. If you look at team accolades, the impact on the team, when this team makes a Final Four, then Burries is going to end up being the guy because of what the team did. But I think if you just remove those from that and said, who's the better player as a freshman, Bayless was a freak as a freshman. Dude, he was insane.
Bayless, I always tell this to people, Bayless was coach, and I love Kevin O'Neal. We all know that. Kevin O'Neal is probably the worst offensive coach that basketball has ever seen. And if he's not, he's on the Mount Rushmore of bad offensive coaches.
Yeah.
This dude, every single time down the court, there's no offense being run or anything. It's, hey, just go score, please, and we'll get back on defense. And the dude literally would just put his head down and just went to the hoop. I mean, he was fantastic. But by the way, that is a great picture. The picture of Jaden Bradley walking away, holding up the three, and Burries about to shoot. That was an awesome. Yes, that was. But Arizona's got an advantage here as well. Now, again, I won't keep wanting to say Florida. Purdue is very capable, obviously, but I'll take, and this is what you're going to kind of see a pattern here. I'll take Burries and Karchenkov every day of the week over Lawyer and Cox, period.
Yeah, and Purdue's wings, Lawyer in particular, is good for their system because they need somebody who can shoot threes and stretch the floor because they want to pound the ball inside. He's their spacer. Mm-hmm. Arizona gets their spacer with Burries, who can also score 30 on you.
Right.
And so that, to me, Lawyer, great for what they want to do. Burries is clearly a full step better. Cox and Ivan, I think they have similar types of roles, except for I'm going to lean Ivan in that role because I know what the defensive impact is. And I know that his length and him being able to tip and help and do all those things is going to be a major impact. I think they're going to put Lawyer on Ivan, and Ivan will guard Lawyer. I think that'll be the matchup. And it'll be interesting to see how Burries does because he's going to have a size advantage for the first time against a big power team kind of in a while. And so I expect a big game out of him, more so than Bradley. I expect a big game out of Burries.
I do too as well. All right. Now, Steve Hernandez, Wildcats to win over the Boilermakers. Back the A, $2 very much. Did you know that we got almost $700 in super snaps last night? You guys are fantastic. Yeah.
That's a record.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. At least since we've been doing AZ12.
We got to beat it. We got to beat it tomorrow when we make the Final Four.
Everybody save up. Give us your money. Thanks. Okay. I don't believe. All right. We'll talk about Tommy and DRF for a minute. In my opinion, I don't have any inside information on this. I don't believe that they will both be back though. I don't know. Again, I don't believe they'll both be back. I don't have any insight on that. That's just my guess.
Yeah. I certainly don't understand the lay of the land too much at Arizona, but here's what I can say. Talking to a couple people who know other people at other places, specifically Missouri and UNLV, right? Mm-hmm. DRF's last two stops.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
The overwhelming theme is, so at Missouri, the rumor is Drinkowitz didn't talk to her for like 6 months because she had burnt bridges with him.
Right.
There's other coaches on the staff there at Missouri that when she left, they literally celebrated and were like, thank goodness, bring in somebody who really wants to advocate for sports and do all the things. And then when we talk about UNLV, there was a lot of rumors and kind of word about how she would be buddies to your face, but then go stab you in the back, use what you're giving to her, taking it and using it for different reasons and purposes. So what I have to assume is that at Arizona, some of that stuff is probably going on where she's going to be the most important person in the room. She's going to control, one of the national brands of basketball and do all these things, when in the reality, Tommy's number one, Brennan's clearly number two, maybe Chip's number three, and then it goes down from there. But like, you have to understand where your bread is buttered. And this is why I love Dave, because Dave was more than happy sitting in the background,
right,
and pulling strings and making things go, letting Bobby have all the shine, letting his coaches have the shine. But he was an important cog in the machine in getting us all the coaches we have and all the success we have. DRF, on the other hand, wants to be the face, wants the shine, wants the glory. And I don't think that's a good spot for an AD to be.
I had somebody message me that would probably know, and he said there would be no way that we would be in this situation if Dave was here. Now, again, I know a lot of people don't like Dave. I get all that. But a lot of a job, when you have somebody, I'll never forget this. Bill Parcells, I read his autobiography when I was in like 8th grade. It was a great autobiography. They asked him, they're like, you're a great coach, but you always get, you treat players differently. Like, you let Lawrence Taylor get away with things, or you don't let him than other words. And he said, yes, if you bring more to the table than another person, that's just the way life is in general. If you're you work it into it. If you have somebody that is a skyrocket earner, and you know what, they're a little annoyed. You're a little annoyed by some of the stuff they do, but at the end of the day, he's going to be one of your best earners. You're going to probably say, all right, that just is what it is at this point. Tommy Lloyd is one of the very best coaches in all of college basketball, period. Tommy Lloyd deserves a certain level of respect and treatment, period. It just is what it is.
And yes, 100%. And to go along with that, Tommy Lloyd's not the high maintenance guy.
Right.
And so you don't have to go completely out of your way and bend over backwards to make him happy, because he's not the super high maintenance coach. Jed Fish, way more high maintenance than Tommy Lloyd, for example.
Right.
And so to me, if you can't make that relationship work, that's more of a you problem than it is a Tommy problem, in my opinion. So something's going to have to give. We'll see what happens. Nothing's going to happen before the tournament's up. Like Tommy said millions of times, like, I'm focused. And if you're Tommy, you flamed out in the tournament the last couple of years, and you have a real chance at winning the title, you're not going to let any coaching search or anything distract you from achieving the pinnacle of your sport as a coach, and then you can deal with it afterwards.
And I don't buy five of a kind. I do. I don't buy the thing that this is a massive distraction. I really don't. I know that there's a lot of people that are saying that. I don't believe it. Jaden Bradley's not going to be back next season. What does he care who the coach is here next year? Braden Burry's not going to be back. What does he care? Koa Pete. I mean, I can keep going on and on down the list. There's a lot of different people that, so like, I don't think it's really a distraction. I do believe, and again, I don't have any insight on this, I do believe this was leaked for a reason at this point. And, but again, I think you're seeing a lot. This reminds me a lot of what Dilly did, where Dilly's like, all right, I got a really nice opportunity, possibly down. I don't want to leave, but I need what I want, type thing. And, Tommy, and this has nothing to do with money with Tommy. People need to understand that this has nothing to do with his contract or it does, but something else. It has nothing to do with money from Tommy's perspective. So, he's earned everything. And Tyler Warden says last night proved it's not a distraction. They were dialed in. Like, this team is about business at this point. T Burns 826, time to bring Greg Byrne. No. I'd rather lose every game than have to deal with all that stuff. Okay, now let's get a couple reads in here, and then we're gonna get to the front court. Back the front pipe court. All right, now. Kai. Dennis Walsh Dennis Walsh. Yes, bring back Dave, baby. All right, Dennis Walsh. 12 Arizona locations, locally owned and operated. All food made in-house daily. Tyler Warden, who says he needs to lose weight, even though he doesn't. He should be at Baggins every single day getting this really, really good food. And who knows, maybe you'll see Kai there with Dennis Walsh if you go to the one on Grant. Every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. All food made in-house daily. Go in there and check it out. Join the VIP text club. Text Baggins to 877-797-0444. Like TJ said, I drove 400 miles for Baggins. So can you. Damn right. Like it. Cookies are healthy now. Eat them. All right, Brogan, front pipe. We talked about it last night, though. You're a little bit, I know that you're a millennial, but, you're a little bit, you're on the older side of the millennials. So the front pipe can kind of, mix or match. How is it right now as opposed to last night?
Still there. I can still see it.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, yeah, that's great. Yeah. Hey, all right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, Danny Foster is always there. Sewer line coating, point repairs, licensed, bonded, and insured, 24/7 service. 10% off when you mention the AZ12 podcast. Call 520-603-3817 to schedule service today. Back the pipe. And again, they are 24/7 service because plumbing issues don't just occur from 8 to 5. Well, it's not like a politician that's like, well, after about 4 o'clock, it's pretty much past my bedtime, guys. I'll let the other people do it. Yes, Danny Foster, man, back the pipe. Go, Paul. Now, Brogan, you wouldn't talk about your front pipe, but you would talk about the how enamored you are by the Mike Lucalote rib.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't touch it.
Have you thought about inhaling the Mike Lucalote rib as opposed to just eating it? Maybe you would just, just take it all.
I'm so against the Mike Luke rib that when I go to Copal, I pay full price for the elote rib.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want anything to do with that free Mike Luke elote rib. I'll pay it, whatever it is, guys. Well, that is good. Book your next large party or corporate event with Copal. And large party packages available. We also cater any event. Tucson's contemporary Mexican food. CopalTucson.com. Yes, the elote rib is fantastic. Most people want it there. Check it out. Mexican food delivered nationwide. Yeah. Hey, have you ever tried the kids on a Mike Luke elote rib? Who knows? Maybe it just skips a generation.
Yeah, likely.
Yeah.
Likely.
Go ahead.
So did you see the news that this will derail us a little bit, but Isaiah Johnson just hit the portal?
All right. That's who I want. That is who I want. Did you know Paulius was at the game last night?
No. Interesting.
I thought that was fascinating as well. Real quick.
Was that the reference?
I'd assume so.
Somebody made a reference about a big was there in the game or something like that. But yeah, anyways.
But he was there. Like we would, if I said to you right now, John Brogan, is Paulius Morauskas is your starting power forward next year? Yay or nay?
All good. Again, if Krivas is my center, then I love it because I know my interior defense is set and he can stretch the floor. All good. No issues there at all.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And
then I can get a bruiser in the portal as the backup 4-5.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. He's good. All right. So, there we are. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the front court then. Koa Pete. The problem that I still think Purdue is going to have is this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Purdue up front is just not super athletic. They're not long. Like Trey Kaufman-Wren is really, really good. By the way, I will say this. It would really chap my back end if I don't know how, and I didn't really realize because I was at the golf course for some of the game, but I didn't really realize until I watched it last night. Brogan, the hooking and holding that Purdue does is insane.
Yeah. On the last play of the game, Kaufman-Wren hooks him, but he's kind of pushing him under the basket, not pulling him. Mm-hmm. And so on that one, again, I get why people are mad, but on that one, it's like, dude, you got to drop your anchor and you can't get run under the rim on a box out. Like every coach in America would tell, and Sean Miller would say this, like, you can't get pushed under the basket on a box out, plain and simple. Right. Had Kaufman-Wren yanked him to the side and tipped it in, then I think you have a problem with it. But on that one, it's more subtle than the two-hand shove in the back that Arkansas was doing. But the whole game, I mean, Purdue was hooking. I mean, there's probably 9 or 10 times you could see it pretty clearly in the game between Clough and Kaufman-Renn, and the refs just ignored it the entire game, which was crazy.
I think in a weird way, though, with everybody talking about it, though, I think that actually bodes well for Arizona, because you would hope that at least the officials would be, hopefully.
Yeah, it's the Shea Gilgeous thing. Eventually, they stopped calling 100 fouls for him, and they only called 50 because people complained about it loud enough.
It's funny. I asked. It was funny. I was watching this debate between two guys on Twitter. It was very funny, and they were talking about Shea Gilgeous. And this one guy says, "Oh, his stats are better than Michael Jordan's. This or that." And then this other guy goes in there. He says, "Dude, watch how he plays. He should be playing in the WNBA." And it was just a funny way of putting it. But okay, so now look up front though. I think Koa is gonna. What's interesting about Koa and why I got to believe that he was hurt to a certain extent. Koa has been light years better since, taking a couple weeks off and coming back. I mean, he's been more aggressive. He's dunking now. That was the other thing too. Before he got hurt, I think people think that Koa is just kind of this average. Koa is a very, very good athlete. And he's dunking things now. He is he looks much, much better, Brogan.
A lot more aggressive since coming back. And with the Kaufman-Renn matchup, he's good. He doesn't shoot the ball at all. Doesn't shoot threes. He might shoot one, maybe. I can't get out of my head the first Josh Jefferson game where Koa just dominated the matchup and was super physical, and he couldn't get any offense off. I can't get that out of my head. And I feel like if Kaufman-Renn is going to try to bully Koa, it doesn't work. He's too big. He's too physical. He holds his space. You get to then bring in a Waka who's just as hard to bully, and you got Krivas back behind it on the back end. And the difference with Purdue versus Alabama, I know that's the extremes, but like if Krivas comes over to help her hedge, you can't just throw a bunch of lobs to Clough. You can pass on the ball, but then he's going to grab it. He's going to dribble. He's going to pivot. He's going to shoot a hook. He's going to do all the things Mo does when we throw him the ball versus lay it in, your 2 seconds of moves before you get the ball to the rim. So I think that allows Arizona to help a little more than maybe you saw against Arkansas, where it was throw it up, dunk, throw it off the rim, dunk. You're not going to see that from Purdue. And so I feel like this is a game where Kaufman-Renn is going to have a really hard time getting to his 15-9 or whatever his averages are.
All right. Now, real quick, I got to smack one of the sisters around here. All right. So I like the sisters. They're great people. They don't know anything, but they're great people. Joseph was mentioned, or Joseph sends me asking me about the 2001 title game. And he says how Arizona can't get lit up by a guy like Mike Dunleavy. Mike Dunleavy was a bad dude in college. I don't know how else to put it to you. He was a bad boy. He was a lottery pick. He was a first-team All-American. He averaged almost 20 points per game. And then he's like, RJ's got to kill that matchup. What people don't get and what these young kids don't get, RJ was very good in college. I'm not saying RJ also averaged 10 points per game. Mike Dunleavy was a better college basketball player than Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson was a better pro. Mike Dunleavy was a better college basketball player, period. Would you agree with this, bro?
Yeah. And RJ had a little bit of the Iguodala, a little bit of the Rondé, where you were more athlete than player in college. And then as your skills caught up, you took off in the NBA, right? And that's why you can average 20 points a game at some point in your career. The thing with Dunleavy that I think people don't understand is he's 6'9". Yeah. And he was a guard in college. Like, he was ahead of his time in terms of that size, that skill, and all of those things. And he could shoot it at an elite level. So that makes him a really tough matchup when you're 6'9", you can handle, and you can shoot. You got to kind of pick your poison. And he was awesome in college. He was an All-American, a lottery pick. That's different than Fletcher Lawyer making 4 threes against Arizona, for instance.
I firmly believe, too, and this is a little bit off topic. We don't ever go off topic on this show, but we will on this one. I believe that was the best Duke. I believe that was Mike Krzyzewski's most talented Duke team, and here's why. Jason Williams was the National Player of the Year at point guard. He was freaking awesome. The worst starter on that team was Chris Duhon, and he was a 12-year NBA guy. You have Shane Battier, you have Mike Dunleavy, you have Carlos Boozer. That team was freaking awesome, man. I don't know how else to put it. That team was very good. That's the thing with Duke is their NBA guys are hit or miss, but everybody on that team played in the NBA for a long time. Like, that's the difference. Except Jay Will, but he got hurt, obviously. Right. But they were also, like I said, Boozer was an all-star caliber player. Battier, Dunleavy, both 16, 17 point per game guys. Jay Williams would have been an all-star. It is what it is. But yeah, nice try there, kid. Okay, now up front then, Krivas. I got to give Krivas a lot of credit. Brogan was messaging me early on in the game saying, I don't think this is a big Mo game. I think this is going to be a Tobe game. And I told Brogan, I said, settle down. This is a Mo game as well. Brogan, why were you so wrong?
Well, between you telling me how good Billy Richmond was because he made one basket to start the game, it was hard for me to keep up. No, it was, I think with Mo, the easy thing to say is when a team comes out uber athletic to start the game, it was like, okay, this is where we know Mo struggles. But about 4 minutes in after that, it was like, okay, they're athletic, but they don't do anything. And Mo can just live around the rim. He's going to be an impact defensive player. And then the game shifted pretty quick. But it just turned out to be a game where everybody was awesome. Tobe, Mo, Koa. I mean, Tyler's point last night, we could have subbed in CD and he probably would have been awesome.
You know who's not bad, though, for Arkansas that I did not expect was not Dorito, Pringle. Pringle actually was not Pringle is actually not bad defensively. He had some nice dunks as well. He was their best big man yesterday.
Yeah, I was disappointed in Brazil. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Missed a couple threes, had a dunk, whatever. But Pringle was the only one that wanted to play defense in the paint. McEwen had a nice dunk or two, didn't want to play defense. So I don't know. Again, it all comes back to Calipari. He's got Richmond who wants to play D. He had Pringle who wanted to play D. Nobody else really wanted to. And, you saw what happened.
Right, for sure. All right, let's get a couple reads in here, and then Andre will be joining us as well, the Gladiator. All right, what do we got here? Talk to me. Hey, save that read, though. Save that one. 88 crime. Now, you see something going on right there, and you're saying to yourself, you're like, man, there's somebody out there. You see an ASU fan stealing copper. You see somebody going in and trying to just take all the Sephora supplies, and it's some old guy. Call 88 crime. Don't get involved in it. 88 crime, 882-7463. It's anonymous. Pima County Attorney's Office, 88crime.org. Boom. Okay, never mind. I guess we're not getting the song. Okay, yeah. Comfort X HVAC, Tucson's local HVAC, trusted homeowners, business, and builders. Now, we've talked about it a million times right now. Kobe L. Field does not have air conditioning. Get air conditioning, dude. Brogan, it's supposed to be like 100 degrees outside today, isn't it?
So I think it's been 100 for the last, around 100 for the last 6 days. I don't think it's stopping. I think we got 6 months of hundreds.
Kobe, stop being a putz. Stop being a putz and check it out. Services and maintenance, emergency repairs, installations, replacements, indoor air quality, mini splits, ductwork, ventilation. Check it out. Like I said, it is very, very good. Call 520-222-7012 or book online at comfortxhvac.com. Kobe's great. He says, you guys should see our group messages. You should see the questions that are asked of Kobe L. Field throughout the day. Kobe's a good soldier, man. I will say Kobe has to deal with some stuff. Yes. All right. Hey, Brogan, have you ever been in a jet before?
Like a jet?
Jet that backs up into the parking lot and stuff?
No, I've never been going reverse in a jet before. That I can say.
Well, I think Brent Brennan was. That's at least the rumor. He was cruising down South 6th in a jet that was basically just swerving all over the place. But that's also because it was probably parked at RJ's Frozen Cactus parking lot. But he was also there because he was getting good food. Pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. No bad seats in the house. No bad seats in the house. Again, you go in there, you've got like I said, a lot of different stuff. Mr. Tyler Warden says, bro, going reverse in a jet is a wild experience. Yeah, I'd love to try that. But so is RJ's Frozen Cactus, but it is good. Very, very good food. Very, very good drink. The TV setup is immaculate. It is very, very good. Check it out. RJ's Frozen Cactus. Kobe L right now says Kobe has to deal with some stuff is the best way to put it. I will say this about Kobe, and then let's let the Gladiator in here too. I will say this about Kobe. We give him a lot of crap. He's a pretty sensitive kid, but he's an awesome kid, though. We love Kobe L. Field. And, bro, it was funny. I don't think Brogan get mad because I said the same thing. We've talked about Kobe L before, and we said Don't really agree with anything that he has to say a lot of the time, especially about college football, but he's entertaining and he's a good dude. We like you, Kobe Elthiel. Boom.
And he's young, so he's getting a crash course on being an adult.
He's
so he
all
benefits from it.
Though. If I were to tell him that Andre Veras right here is actually coming to us live from Moscow, he would probably say, is he a secret agent for another foreign government or something? So you gotta be careful. Yeah. All right. Gladiator, talk to us. You're on there. You're your boots on the ground. What do you got there? What's going on there? Talk to me.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
nice 80 degrees outside, so be jealous.
Slumming it in
slumming it in downtown San Jose. There's all these tech companies around me. It's kind of weird, but no, it's nice here. It's the hotel we're staying at. It's like a 5-minute walk to the arena, so pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of Arizona fans. Like just by my guess, it's be pretty good. It's going to be pretty solid 50-50 split tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 60-40 Arizona, but like a lot of Purdue fans are here. So
how is Shear doing socially? Is he talking with people? How's he doing?
Skier is doing great. He's awesome. Great. We had to go get a snack after the game because everything else was closed. So we had to go like Taco Bell or something like that. And no elote ribs here, but like Jason was talking to a few fans. So
all right.
I don't believe he's being social, but maybe he'll prove us wrong. But so Andre, what I would say is, so I asked Shear before the game how many Arizona fans are there. He's like, it's hard to tell. The Purdue game was still going on. Texas game was going on. But there was a point in the middle of the second half where on the TV, you could hear the U of A chants that you typically get used to hearing in Vegas, the Pac-12 tournament. Those. So just talk about that a little bit. Like, how did that sound live in person? Like, it sounded crazy on TV.
Yeah, so he's right. A lot of the UFA fans, which didn't really start showing up until midway through the second half. And then it was definitely dominated by Purdue. Like I said, until about midway through the second half. Then that crowd quickly turned towards Texas. Now, I'm sure Arkansas fans were there, and obviously a lot of UFA fans, but it was loud. It's loud. That's a loud arena. I've noticed a lot of hockey arenas are loud. So, Arkansas fans didn't really make much noise yesterday. So, my guess would be it was probably 75-25 split Arizona fans, Arkansas fans. So Arizona. I mean, look, we're in the Bay Area, right? We know Arizona fans are going to travel. So it was fun to be around. Shelby almost got arrested. She was having some fun with some Texas fans, so I had to calm her down a little bit. But
I got a question: why is she going after Texas fans? Because they're rooting for Jason Shear's pitch tent, Sean Miller. What's I don't get.
No, because Texas fans are rooting for Arkansas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
even though we were rooting for Texas, so what the hell? So
it
was a fun atmosphere, and again, obviously, that Texas Purdue game was electric. Had Mark not gotten hurt, I think we're talking about an Arizona Texas matchup. The other thing too, I mean, I know you guys have been previewing Purdue, but Texas was so much more athletic than Purdue. Like, it was noticeably different.
Yeah. See, that's kind of what I come across. That's what I just kind of keep coming back to is that, Purdue's good, but I'll just ask you this right now. I think it's a good question I'm about to ask. My mom says I'm pretty. Okay.
My mom says I'm smart.
Yeah, everybody does. Yeah. Okay. Who from Purdue starts at Arizona?
If it were me, probably Kaufman, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I
think Kaufman's a bad matchup for Koa. I think that's gonna be a tough matchup on Koa. But that's it. I take Jaden over Braden. I think obviously Braden is the better, passer if you want to call it that, but defensively, Braden does nothing on the defensive end. It'd probably be Kaufman in my opinion, but that's close.
Right, Brogan.
Yeah, I there's an argument to be made for Braden Smith, but again, we've talked about all year how Bradley may not be the most statistical point guard, but he's like the perfect puzzle piece for what Arizona wants to do, especially when you talk about all the clutch plays.
Yeah.
You'll take Mo over Clough because of the defensive factor. Offensively, they're similar. Clough's a little better, but defense is light years ahead.
Yeah.
Arizona could use somebody like Lawyer who can shoot. He's a lot more dynamic than Delorio, as Calipari calls him, but
right.
I like his fit, but I don't think he starts over Ivan because I think Tommy learned over the last couple of years, like, if I have an awesome defensive team, I can score points. This year, they just happen to also not get lucky, but this year, you happen to combine that with Burry's being dynamic on offense.
Yep.
Koa can score. You get a bunch of offensive rebounds. You get to the free throw line. So I think he built this team with defense in mind first, and then the offense just happened to be a nice add-on where we score 90 points a game or whatever.
Yeah. And look at Kobe L. Bradley, good point by Kobe L. I like this point. Bradley doesn't get cheap stats. I do like, that's a very, very good point. How many times, there's been games this year where it's like, all right, he got 6 points, 7 assists, could have gotten cheap stats. He doesn't really stat pad against crap teams. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. I just think the thing with with Jaden, he has been consistent. Like, I mean, we could probably count on one hand how many bad Jaden games we had. I just think he's just way more consistent. You also know he's going to bring it defensively. Like, just watching. So we're probably jumping a gun here a little bit. I mean, like, I'm not nearly as concerned about Purdue like I was against Arkansas, because watching Texas just, chew them up, right?
Right.
Trying to watch Braden guard. I mean, trying to watch Smith guard Pope or Mark was yikes.
Yeah.
And so like you switch Burries onto Smith. He's going to drive right by Smith. Same thing with Lawyer. I don't think Lawyer can guard a fire hydrant. I mean,
he's white.
Very. Clough. I mean, I watch Clough get
Switzerland on this show, Andre Veras. We are Switzerland. We are neutral.
Well, I mean, I watch Clough get manhandled defensively. Clough got those offensive rebounds, but he was rebounding against you, Mike. That I felt bad for that dude. I mean, that Texas dude that's like what, 6'9", 190 pounds. And so I mean, I like I said, the only matchup that I truly believe that's going to give us problems, if you want to call it that, is I think Kaufman-Wren is a tough matchup for Koba. Otherwise, the other 4 matchups, I think we match up very nicely. And
Brogan, you're I was going to say you're very sounds about white. That was very good. Too busy winning. All right, I'm gonna that's very good. I'm gonna say it. Brogan, you're like Dibble. You guys follow lines and bets and all that stuff. We're gonna get to Isaiah Johnson here in a second. But what are your takes? What, as far as the line movement and all this stuff? You made a good point. Also, make the point you said about Tommy reverse engineering. It's a very good point.
Yeah. So I think Arizona's superpower this year is, I think Tommy so for the last 6 to 10 years, basketball analytics, all the things changed to where 2 things were important in basketball: shoot threes and guard threes, because long twos are the worst shot in basketball and you can't make enough twos to matter. I think this year Tommy said, I'm going to, put a wrinkle in the matrix. If you're not going to guard twos, you're going to be overextending cover threes and shoot a bunch of threes. Great. I'm going to be elite at rebounding. I'm going to be elite at getting to the basket. I'm going to shoot more twos than everybody in the country. I'm going to shoot a high percentage from 2. I'm going to get to the free throw line because I'm living in the paint. And all of a sudden, Arizona has figured out a way to score 108 points when attempting 8 threes in a game. And Coach K was on McAfee this morning and was like, I got to give credit to Arizona. They shot 8 threes and scored 108 points. Like, that doesn't happen. Right. And so I think Tommy has kind of cracked the code to go against the grain with the 3-point kind of overreach and say, great, if you're going to stop threes, we'll just go shoot layups. No big deal. We know we can make those at a super high clip and score a bunch of points, and their defense is elite, so it's hard to beat.
Yeah, and I'll say this as well, is that, I'm never going to worry about offense with Tommy Lloyd. I don't really worry about offense. So, these people that are like, I mean, you still get people on Shear's board that are like, we have to shoot 4 more threes per game because this doesn't fit into the template of winning a national title. Oh, buzz off. You lost that one. Go get some more toilet paper, man, because you need to wipe yourself. That's terrible. I don't know. That makes no sense.
Well, it's just, I mean, Doster on Field of 68 last night was just talking about, like, why should we be jacking up all these threes when the best shot in the game right now is a layup?
Right.
How many layups do we get? Now, sure, yeah, we missed layups. Jaden missed a couple last night. Mo missed a couple. But you know what? More often than not, those shots at the rim are going to start falling, or we're going to get fouled like Arkansas last night, and we're just going to foul the entire team. So, yeah, tough night for the Spacers crowd last night.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm at with the Purdue game is if I look at kind of some key stats, their strength is they score more from 2. They shoot the second most 2s in the country. They shoot a high percentage. We're elite defense. Yep. They're not great at stopping 2 points. We score a lot of 2 points. Mm-hmm. They don't turn people over. They slow tempo down. All those things. The eye test tells me that they're not very athletic, and we should be able to expose some matchups. Here's the one thing that gives me pause. If you look at the teams remaining in the tournament, Michigan, Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, Iowa. So I know this hurts Mike and I deep down because we think the Big Ten sucks at basketball in general, but I don't want to make the mistake of overlooking Purdue because I thought the Big Ten was terrible when they've got the majority of the teams left in the tournament. So clearly the Big Ten's a lot better than I thought, which makes me think I have to give Purdue a little more credit, even though everything else is telling me not to. With Arkansas, everything told me not to give them credit, and I didn't, and we blew them out, and that was straightforward. The one thing that gives me pause is the Big Ten is actually better than I think, and so I have to assume I'm not missing something with Purdue, but they're a little better than I want to give them credit for.
Can we give them, let me ask you this. All right, that's fair. Can we, I'll pretend you didn't say that, but that's fair. Can we, crap, what was I going to say? It was actually a good point. Now I can't remember what it was going to be. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to it. Okay.
Well, let's not forget, they were the preseason number 1 coming into their country, right? Braden Smith was the consensus player of the year coming into the country. I was looking at their box score from the Houston game from last year in the Sweet 16. They returned 4 of 5 starters. So, I mean, they're clearly good. They had a hell of a run in the Big Ten tournament. It's truly remarkable with how Purdue turned around things, right? Then they ended the season with 5 or 6 losses in a row or something like that, or 5 of 6 or something like that, where they looked awful. And then they just rolled right through the Big Ten tournament. And yeah, they took care of Michigan. Now I'd argue our guards are better than Michigan's guards. So, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due for Purdue to do what they've done. Again, just watching Purdue live last night, I really struggle with how are they going to stay in front of us?
All right, here's my guy Fry. I'm pretty sure this is Fry Rice from the board. Love Fry Rice, but he's wrong about this, and he's been wrong about it, and he's been stubborn. Even Tommy said he wants more threes from zone. Nice try, Michael L. Luke. Arkansas and their old defense is the opposite of a team you need to take more threes against. No L for the Spacers. Dude, the Spacers have lost. You guys are been thrown into the trash bin of history, and hopefully you never reemerge. Personally, I like you personally though. Arizona doesn't shoot threes. Everybody was, I mean, they do, but whatever. I mean, they shoot the least amount of threes in like all of college basketball against good teams. And I'm going to say this as well, is that Fry Rice kept saying, well, they need to shoot 4 more threes per game. Otherwise we can't win because it doesn't fit into a template. Nice try, Fry Rice. I love you, but you are wrong. Guys, you got to admit the Spacers are in deep retreat right now. It's bad for the Spacers.
Yeah, and as long as Arizona keeps scoring 100 points without having to shoot or make very many threes, why is that going to stop tomorrow? Right. Arizona's recipe against Purdue is going to be similar to Arkansas. It's go inside early, go inside often. If Kaufman, Renner, Clough gets into foul trouble, it's game over. Yeah. Purdue can't keep up if they don't both play 30-plus minutes. And so we're going to start inside. And again, if you want to pack the paint against Arizona, they're going to shoot 36, 37% from 3 on the year. You know, everybody makes the point that Arizona shoot a lot of threes, but they shoot a high percentage. And so you kind of got to pick your poison a little bit there. They're not just going to go 2 for 28 from 3. It's just not going to happen. So, but I think for us, it's go inside, get the bigs in foul trouble, game over.
All right. The good question here from Fry Rice, a.k.a. Hate Gen Z Slang. Purdue going to try to pack the paint and turn us into shooters. Will we take more threes than Brogan has kids? P.S. Gen Z still sucks. Here's where I'm at. I don't care how many threes Arizona takes as long as we win. Call me old-fashioned.
Yeah, just cover the half a point spread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brogan, you would agree. This is true.
Yeah, and they will take more threes. They will take more threes than I have kids. If you set the line at my brother Mike's kids, then it's even money.
Did you know Brogan's? Hey, you guys will like this one. Brogan's brother is 6'7", isn't he?
Yeah.
All right. You notice how that wasn't funny? Or
when you whine after it, it takes some of the steam out of it.
Well, dude, there was no steam in it. All right, let me try it again. Brogan's brother is 6'7". Now laugh, please. No, it's stupid. Hey, Andre, do your kids do that? You got a lot of Rugrats. Do your kids do that?
No, they're too young to know what's going on.
Don't let them get into that. Don't let them get into that. Yes. All right. Now. Oh, not Fry Rice, my friend. Oh, is it somebody else? Well, if it's not, then yeah, either way, hey, Gen Z, you can be wrong with him as well. I appreciate you, though. Okay, now we're going to get to our prediction here in a minute. But first, Isaiah Johnson is in the portal. I want Isaiah Johnson. I don't know if they're going to get him or not. Who knows? That would be my top priority in the portal. I think Shellstad's good. I have no problem. If Shellstad's our point guard, no problem with it. My only real concern with Shellstad is he hasn't really been able to put it together for an entire season. Injuries, up and down, whatever. Isaiah Johnson's a stud. I'm cool with either one of them, but I would prefer Isaiah Johnson. What say you guys?
So I would be okay with Johnson just because of his bloodlines and who he trains with. Mm-hmm. He's probably, but I'm perfectly content with Shellstad. Last time I checked, he smoked us last year in the round of 32. And, I think Tommy likes those older point guards. So, which is why I think Shellstad will be our starting point guard next season. But I'd be okay with either one of those.
Brogan?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Either one is cool with me. I think if I had to guess, I would say that 80%, 85% that it's one of those two.
I'd agree with that.
I think it's pretty certain we get one of those two at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, when we're thinking about NIL, we got to think about who's going to be cheaper. Shellstad's probably going to be cheaper, which is going to free up some NIL money to retain Yvonne if he comes back, retain Mo if he comes back, and throw some money at a power forward in the portal, because that's not going to come cheap, barring another Trey Townsend type. So,
all right, let's get some reads in here. We're going to get to our predictions so you guys can make money. We want you to make money. That's what we're about. Hey, all right, I got a question, Andre Veras, the great Andre Veras. We can't endorse you. We've been very clear about this. Can you endorse yourself?
Absolutely.
All right, well, endorse yourself, please. Thank you.
Did I just throw you off?
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to say you could endorse yourself either. Endorse yourself, Andre Veras, please. Thanks.
Yeah, what's up? So now I threw myself off.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, sure.
I'm like, no, we are a local firm, and obviously we support Arizona. In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm trying to get Mike to come out to San Jose, take a red eye to San Jose tonight. But we just help people understand their retirement plans, their what kind of contributions should they be doing, and how to invest their money and all that stuff. So we help people all around the country. Most of our clients are here in Arizona, but I help people all over the country. So
Andre's helped me out a lot. I very much appreciate Andre. Hey, how about this? I will endorse Andre Veras, the person, but I will highly recommend Longview. How about that?
That's okay.
All right. We're endorsing the man. We are not endorsing the brick and mortar, but we will highly recommend the brick and mortar, though. We're very clear about this. Duke or St. John's? St. John's, baby. All right, we'll get to that real quick. All right, what else?
Yeah, you got to do the other games too.
Yeah. All right.
That's for you,
Yeah.
whoever it is in the chat.
Welcome
Wait.
to. There. All right, we're done. Not. All right.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, jokes on you, dummies. All right, yes. All right. Holy cow. Mr. Tyler Warden says, holy cow. I haven't been triple teamed like that since Rich Carrillo approached me. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Well,
We like triple teams.
Yeah. Good thing you fought him off. Okay. 2 convenient locations. Tucson plus Green Valley, 50 plus locally sourced landscaping materials, serving residents and contractors, east to Benson, Sierra Vista, west to Marana, south to Nogales, north to Oracle. Check it out. Green Valley Decorative Rock. There's a lot of idiots. There are not a lot of idiots. They're all on the run now. But there are some idiots that think that Green Valley Decorative Rock is only in Green Valley. They have been eliminated. They have been taken care of. They have been taken out to the side heap of history. If you find one, call 88 crime. Well, don't call 88 crime, but all right, yeah, don't call 88.
Isn't this a Green Valley Decorative Rock read?
Yeah, but if you find somebody that's lying about where Green Valley Decorative Rock is located, you must strike with certainty. So either way, check it out. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Boom. Okay. Now, will they deliver to Thatcher? Interesting.
They will, but you got to pay it. You got to pay extra. For that,
you got to pay extra.
What about San Jose?
And you got to give back those cardboard football helmet titles from the 50s. How about that? They're going to deliver. Yeah. Give it back to him. All right. Now, our good pal, Tyler Warden. He's come out with a thing called Omni League. This is very, very cool. Download on the App Store. Do it right now, everybody. This is a lot of fun. Get it on Google Play. Draft teams across every major sport. Create leagues with friends and draft live. Live standings powered by real data. We don't want fake data. We want real data. 100% free to play. This is a lot of fun. And again, if you like me, go in there and if you like me, go in there and get in on Tyler's league, because Tyler is the man. Even if you don't like me, do it in spite and say, guess what? Mike Luke, I don't like you, but I'm going to help out Tyler Warden because he is better than you. Either way, get in there right now. Omni League. All right, check it out. All right.
Is Janet going to join the Omni League?
She has she's worse than me with technology. Hey, I told you about with my mom with her text message. This is great. So one time she texted me something, and then she thought if she deleted it on her end that it went away on my end. And I'm like, she's like, I deleted that though. And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. And she's like, why do you still have it? Mom, you can't just delete a text message on your end and think that it gets deleted on my end. Nice try, dummy. All right. Now, guys, let's get our predictions in here.
That's not very nice, Michael.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, nobody's watching, cares. Okay, so all right, tomorrow I'm going Arizona Purdue. I am going Arizona 75, Purdue 64. I think Arizona wins by about 11 points.
I got 82-69. Similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar range.
I like it. I like it.
Yep.
I think we win too. I think it's double digits too. I think we start to pull away. At the maybe 10 to 12 minute mark in the second half. We're just going to overwhelm them with size. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get to some other ones. The St. John's Golden Red Storm. I am going St. John's in this game. I believe St. John's is going to win this game. I believe Rick Pitino is going to keep marching on. Who is following me?
Does your opinion, I know the answer is no, Michael, but does your opinion change knowing that Caleb Foster is playing tonight? Which, first of all, I want whatever medicine he's taking to heal a broken foot 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I'll believe
he is playing tonight.
I'll believe he's effective when I see it. I'm taking St. John's. Plus,
I'm taking St. John's too.
Plus, the other thing too, playing St. John's is the last team you want to play if you're coming back. If you're a guard and you're coming back from a foot injury.
Yeah.
Brogan,
I'm taking St. John's too.
Brogan, are you going chalk?
No. If St. John's makes threes, they win outright. I think they cover the 6.5. No problem.
All right. So can you give us a pick though? Thank you. Come on, Brogan, do it.
Duke.
Can I run it by you again? We only got a couple minutes left. Can I run it by you again?
I still think Duke wins, but if St. John's makes threes, they're live. That's what I'll say. But if forced to pick somebody, I'm taking Duke. My bracket has Duke.
So if I ask you one more time, you won't consider going St. John's?
No.
All right, fair enough. Fine. You run a tight ship over there. All right. Michigan State, UConn. I'm going Golden Huskies in this game. I like the Golden Huskies. What say you guys?
I think Hurley's going to have them ready.
Brogan, what say you?
I refuse to accept the fact that Michigan State is good. I'm UConn all the way. I actually think UConn wins kind of easily tonight.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that one as well. Now, what else? All right, I was going to say, what else we got here then?
Tennessee, Iowa State. Go Iowa State.
Hey, is Jefferson playing?
I haven't seen anything about that. It's all been like Caleb Foster.
He has to be playing because they haven't. Nobody said anything that he's not, so I'd assume he's playing.
What's the line in that game?
Iowa State 3.5.
He's got to be playing then. I'm going Iowa State. I'm going Golden Cyclones. I think they're going to win that game. What say you guys?
I think even if he doesn't play, I think Iowa State still wins.
Yeah, I got Iowa State in that game. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think they win.
Right, for sure. Yeah. All right. Now, do we have it feels like there's
Michigan, Alabama. Can Alabama do it?
Hey, did you see what Byrne tried to do? And he got overruled by the administration. Byrne tried to have that clown fly out and be with the team.
Yeah, they're lucky they didn't do that. But this is a game that Michigan destroys Alabama. I don't see how this game's close. Alabama doesn't play defense like Arkansas. So
right. And their only path to victory was scoring. And when you lose a 20-point per game guy, that generally doesn't help. So
right.
Yeah. All right. Now, Gladiator.
I think I would love for Michigan to lose, but I think Michigan wins comfortably.
All right. Everybody.
Wait. I want to toot your horn for a second. Almost said toot your hole.
You want to toot my hole? Yeah, right. Get in. Yeah, nice try. Get out of here with that one.
So obviously, I flew from Tucson yesterday. Quite a few people in the airport, quite a few people around San Jose, and quite a few people at the arena because I was walking around with Shelby and came up to us and said hi and said that they recognize Shelby from the AZ12 and that and all that stuff. So a lot of AZ12 podcast shout outs. So that's awesome, Michael. That's great. And then me and the Shears, I don't know if it's good language, are going to in case there's any of you chat members in San Jose, we are going to, where the hell is it? Oh no. Oh crap.
You're just going to be out in public talking with people? No, I don't believe that.
A downtown sports bar. This look, Glad. I'll have Jason tweet it out. But like, we're going to go to a sports bar to watch all these afternoon games. So if you want to join us.
All right, everybody. We very much appreciate you all. Brogan's got to run. I got to run. All right, everybody, go to Little Caesars. 15% off any online order. Enter promo code SAVE15. And then code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, let's get these super snaps in.
It's called Rookies. It's called Rookies downtown.
Rookies. All right, we got TJ Van Marder, $199. Back the A. Hope this works. It does. Jeremiah Dibble. Purdue is going to struggle with the Cats. Cats by 10+. Love you, Dibs. You're a man. Steve Hernandez. Welcome to Wildcats to win over Boilermakers. Back the A. Appreciate you, Steve. Hate Gen Z slang. Purdue going to try to pack the paint and turn us into shooters. Will we take more threes than Brogan has kids? P.S. Gen Z still sucks. I agree with you on the last sentence. The other part, outside of giving me $5, I disagree with. Nice try. All right. So on that note, though, for everybody in the chat, we will be back with you tomorrow for the Mississippi Gladiator. For John Brogan, I am merely Mike Luke. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Woo-hoo.
Bye, guys.
All right, see you guys.